Rock 93.1 is proud to present 12 Stones. In concert at McBee's Bar and Grill on the Res in Ridgeland for a night of live, raw, and unplugged rock and roll March 7th with special guests Storage 24 and Burnham Road. Tickets and VIP tables available at eventbrite.com. Details now at rock931jackson.com. Another Rock 93.1 exclusive.
Boom, shakalaka boom. You're tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. We are live here on 103.9 FM WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. We're also streaming in stunning 4K video on the Save JXN Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble channels. Shout out to everybody there. Let me get these cameras dialed in a little bit better here. As you see, that stunning-looking individual across from me is a new face here to the show this morning. That is one of my good friends, Mr. Tyler Norsworthy. We're going to do let me show this mic on. That would help. I may remember we did a Testimonial Tuesdays for a while, and we would have somebody come in, kind of give their testimony about drug rehabilitation and stuff of that nature, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Or just kind of hitting rock bottom and getting their life back together and getting to a better place. And we hadn't done that in a while. And, when it feels like you got to do it every Tuesday, it becomes a bit repetitive. And I kind of got a little burned out, feeling like every story was the same. And every story is not the same. And I wasn't doing it justice by treating it like that either. So when I told myself, I said, maybe just take a step back a little bit, hit the reset button a little bit. And here we are. Reset button hit. And we're going to kind of kick it back off a little bit. It may not be every Tuesday. It may not be every Friday. I don't know. It'll just be whenever it makes the most sense to do it. So we're going to kick it back off with Tyler here this morning. Tyler's been doing some good things. I've had his wife on here before. She was a guest on my Testimonial Tuesdays, Amber Norsworthy. Just good people and people I've had a chance to get to know over the last couple of years. Amber a little bit more than Tyler. He's a little more soft-spoken, works a lot, and, doesn't always have time to do this type of stuff. So we appreciate him taking the time this morning. He's also started a clothing line.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about that. That's something that I kind of backed into a little bit. You started a clothing line where I had a saying that became very popular that I decided to put on some clothing. And FAFO is having its moment in the sun.
Right, yeah.
We'll see if I still have a clothing line when FAFO isn't nearly as popular of a saying. But maybe we'll figure out whatever the next thing is and jump on that bandwagon too.
Right.
So, but that was organic. It was what was cool about it. It wasn't like I ever thought I was going to put it on a shirt.
Right.
But when you start thinking, all right, what's the next thing we can put on a shirt and sell? It cheapens it a little bit, for what I do anyway, because that's not my first line of work. That's more of a grift, just, than that is anything. Where the radio show and the social media, that's what I do.
Right.
But the T-shirt business has been good to me this year.
She told me, I was like, what does that mean? And she told me, and I was like, nice.
Yeah. Well, if you got to go to church or somewhere, just fool around and find out.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Satan, fool around and find out.
Right, exactly.
So 100%. It doesn't have to be the bad word either. Because we get kids that we give stickers to when we're out doing these live events and stuff. Like, what does it mean, like fool around and find out?
Right.
Like fool around with your parents and find out.
Right, exactly.
Fool
For
around.
sure.
I don't want to fool around. Let's keep that energy all throughout life, young man, young lady.
Sure.
You do not want to fool around. Before we get started tonight, guys, get out to McBee's Bar and Grill. It is the return of 12 Stones to Jackson, Mississippi, or to the Tri-County area anyway, the greater Jackson area. Over 2 million records sold. Paul McCoy, the lead singer, will be our guest in the second hour of the show for about the last 30 minutes. He's featured in one of the biggest rock songs of all time. You know the Evanescence song, Bring Me to Life. He's the guy in the video screaming, "Wake me up." That's what I need to be this morning. I need to be woken up. It's got over 1 billion streams of that video on YouTube alone. He won a Grammy. 12 Stones have sold over 2 million records, and he's from right here in central Mississippi. He ain't been home in a while. Let's welcome him back tonight with the 12 Stones Unplugged. Live, raw, and unplugged is what I've been saying. And we got special guests. That's right. Why just have a double platinum selling Grammy award-winning artist when we can add more to it? We've got our good friend Storage 24 opening up. They're stripping it down to an unplugged set. And we've also got the one and the only Burnham Road, TJ and Laura Lee, the brother and sister country duo from right here in Rankin County. Love those guys. Doors open at 7. It all kicks off about 7:30. But here's the catch. You guys want to meet the guys from 12 Stones. Just come out and hang out. If you've bought a ticket or you buy a ticket, you're invited to the free sound check party at 5 o'clock at McBee's today. Get to meet everybody, watch them do sound check, see how a show's put together. Buy a ticket, and you can buy a ticket at the door. I will say you want at the door. I'll say your wristband at 5 o'clock if you want one. But or you can jump online today and guarantee yourself a seat. Tickets are selling fast, and it will sell out. Buy 12 Stones, jxn.eventbrite.com, or just go to eventbrite.com and type in 12 Stones and pick the Jackson show or the Ridgeland show. So there we go. Got all the housekeeping out the way. My friend, Tyler.
Yes.
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you here, man. I saw your post on Facebook last night. I appreciate the kind words.
Absolutely.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a lot of people's cup of tea.
Yeah, well, that's part of why we like what you do is because, you say the things that need to be said, and that's very rare in today's world. But we believe in that, especially if it's truth.
Yeah, look, I tell people all the time, you not agreeing with me doesn't make what I say untrue. Mm. At the end of the day.
Right.
Like, I mean, in my mind, I'm speaking facts.
Right.
And things need to be said. I was getting my hair cut yesterday. Shout out to Jonathan Boone at California Concepts in Pearl. Shout out to the barber. Got the fade looking fresh.
Got to.
And there was a fella. I'll keep his name quiet. He was getting his hair cut, and he says, Clay, everybody appreciates what you do. Don't forget it. He said, what we need to do is we got to quit all this PC stuff. People got to get back to saying what they're supposed to do. I said, no, we don't have to. We just got to do it. We ain't got to stop doing PC. We just got to start saying what needs to be said. And if everybody does it, hey, if there's no need for me doing this, I'll go back to selling cars and be happy.
Right.
Like I feel like this is where God put me.
Right.
To tell people that it's okay to say what you see.
Yeah.
Not to not believe your lying eyes or whatever the saying is. Mm-hmm. Like, no, speak what you see.
Yeah, and it really started off, I don't know. I mean, it's probably been going on for a long time, but it really, got brought to a head, probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
About 5 years ago.
About 5 years ago, yeah.
2020 is when it popped off.
Right.
Between COVID and George Floyd, you were no longer allowed to speak the truth.
Right. You had to say certain things, believe certain things, and if you didn't fit that narrative, then, you were catching flack for it, and a lot of people went along with it, A lot of people just... They were afraid of the backlash, and there are some people that aren't and didn't, and we need more people like that.
We do, and look, and I welcome it. I've not been that guy that looked at anybody else getting into this as competition. I have drugged people into doing podcasts and trying to get on radio shows and all of that stuff. That's how Kim Wade treated me. That's how these guys here at the radio station treated me. Nobody looked at me as like competition. Everybody looked at me as a teammate, and that's how I look at everybody. Like, bring the next person up. Come on, we need more people who are willing to speak the truth, whether it's on the radio, online, or podcast or wherever.
Right.
And that's what we need to do more of. And if people start doing it, it becomes the normal thing.
Right.
Again.
It becomes normal. Exactly. Yeah.
We need to get back to the truth, being normal. Mm-hmm. Like, you just call a spade a spade.
Yeah. I was watching TV the other day when I was in the hotel. I travel a lot for work. And like every single commercial that I saw, it was like all these big pharma companies and all these major companies, and what they're doing is they're trying too hard. Like, you can tell in the commercial, like, everyone is African American or everyone is homosexual or whatever it is, and they're trying so hard because they know that if they sell that they'll sell their product, and they probably don't even really believe in any of that. They're just going along with it like everyone else is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with any of those things being in commercials.
Not, yeah.
But what happened to the white guy?
Right.
Where did the white guy go?
Right.
The only white guy you see in commercials now is an emasculated, feminine rainbow supremacist.
Right.
And that's fine. But where did the masculine white guy go? What happened to masculinity?
It's under attack.
I'm proudly toxic masculine.
It's under attack in today's society.
Good. I like being under attack. I like it. At first it was weird, right?
Right.
But then it became like a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. If your beliefs weren't under attack and you ain't had to fight for your beliefs, were they really even your beliefs?
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned. It's like, it's been fun being under attack because I kind of like being the underdog.
Yeah.
We're already the majority.
Right.
But somehow they made the majority the underdog. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a bad situation to put yourself in. Mm-hmm. If you're on the other team, if you make the majority feel like the underdog, because the underdog wins.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why they don't like Trump. if I'm being honest with you.
Oh,
and I say they, I don't want to be specific because I want to group a whole bunch of people into one thing, but there are a bunch of different demographics. Okay.
I will. Yeah, they don't like Trump because we like Trump because he represents us. He represents masculine testosterone, high testosterone men. And
not afraid to get in there and get it done.
Yeah.
Say what he needs to say. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and but what I'm seeing now, especially in the younger generation, the Gen Z generation, which ironically is the on paper, and I don't know that I believe this. They're also they're the most, we'll just say for the lack of a better term, the gayest generation. Defines himself as some form of LGBTQ, LMNOPIA, whatever.
Yeah, whatever letter it is.
But they're also the most conservative politically.
Yeah.
So, but it goes back, like, I don't care if you're gay and all that stuff. Like, as long as you have the same beliefs, basically core belief system I do, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I mean, whatever. Just, I think we've become a more progressive society, whether we want to admit it or not. And with that more progressive society and understanding that, all right, you let me be me, I'll let you be you. And that's kind of the thing I've come to. And people say that's more libertarian. And okay, that's fine. You do you. Let me do me. And if you bring you around my kids or anybody else's kids, I'm going to do you.
Oh, man, don't even get me started on the kids, dude. When they started doing the freaking bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, I was just like, are you joking with me right now?
Yeah.
And then there were people online, like, agreeing with it. Grown men, grown women saying, you know, you're just going against love and all this stuff. And it's like, and then I saw this video. Of this dad at this I guess it's a school board meeting or something like that. And he had his little girl there, and he was calling each one of them a coward because they would not stand up for these little 6, 7, 8-year-olds. And they were okaying, you know, boys going into the girls' bathroom and vice versa. And we need more people like that. Like, this is not okay to do at all, period.
The video that sent me over the proverbial edge, where I said, my give a F button over here, I smashed it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Was the one of the dad in, was it Virginia or Maryland or wherever? His daughter got raped in a bathroom by a fake transgender boy, and he shows up to the school board meeting and they arrest him and charge him with, I think, a hate crime or whatever. Loudon, Virginia. Was it Loudon, Virginia? Somebody in the comments will know. That's the one that woke me up. And that boy that did it, that's the same school board that said that transgender kids aren't raping other people in the bathrooms. That boy raped 2 different girls at 2 different schools.
That's crazy.
And the school board brushed it under the rug, and that's why Virginia, of all places, or whatever I did, Loudon, Virginia. Anyway, that's why a very blue state ended up with a very red governor. And that guy, in 4 years, has got a chance to be the next president, too. Glenn Youngkin, I think that's his name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Youngkin. And again, I get some of these. There were so many of those situations. I get some of them confused. So if I'm a little off here, I do apologize. All right, let's take our first break. We've got Tyler Norsworthy here. You hear the tone of the conversation this morning. We're going to wind it back a little bit. We're going to go to Tyler's story of redemption and recovery. And we're going to work our way towards his clothing line. And I'm excited to hear about that. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Streaming worldwide in stunning 4K video with the drool on my shirt and everything. We'll call it bottled water. I missed my mouth. And at SaveJXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. The Guns and Gear text line this morning, 769-241-1944, 769-241-1944. Shout out to, what's the guy's name here? Shout out to Brandy. Brandy just bought 2 tickets for 12 Stones tonight. So, Brandy, thank you. You can get yours over at eventbrite.com, 12 Stones and McBee's tonight. This segment brought to you by friends Mazda Jackson. Guys, I went down to the outlets of Mississippi yesterday afternoon, did a live video on Facebook with Mr. Chris Carr, one of the owners of Mazda Jackson. They're set up there to the 17th, right there at the outlets of Mississippi in Pearl. Mazda Jackson taking over Pearl. And they'll be there to the 17th, big off-site, like an old-school fairground sale type thing. And they got over 150 cars down there, new and used, Mazdas. every Mazda down there qualifies for 0.9% financing. Not 9%, 0.9%, less than 1% financing. I don't know if y'all check rates lately. That's like free money, pretty much, with approved credit, of course. But these manufacturer banks like Mazda Financial or whatever it's called, they're way more lenient than, say, your traditional banks. So you may be approved for 0.9% and you don't even realize it. Get down there, see them. They got a ton of great pre-owned vehicles as well. If you're not looking for a new Mazda, they got a bunch of big jacked up trucks. They got Jeeps. It's Jeep weather. It's officially Jeep weather. It's a little cool in the mornings, but by lunchtime it's Jeep weather every day around here. So get by, check them out. Tell them Clay sent you. MazdaofJackson.com. And don't forget, the North Jackson store is still open throughout the sales event down at the Outlet Mall as well. My buddy Grady Portera said to let y'all know he will be at the off-site sales event. So go by and see Grady. All right, Tyler Norsworthy, brother, you got a great testimony. I've heard it before, but let's get started with it, dude. Where I like to start, and maybe you want. I always like to start at the end and work our way to the beginning of the stuff. So I like to ask folks, what was your rock bottom?
Rock bottom. So it wasn't. I hit several of them, but but
there's usually a aha moment.
Yes, that's yeah. The aha moment for me was here in Mississippi. Actually, it was probably 3 or 4 months after I got to Mississippi. Me and Amber. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Amber Norsworthy. She's listening. Oh, and shout out to my dad in Tacoma Park, Oklahoma.
Nice.
We went to Pine Lake, and we were sitting up in the very, very top. And Chip was preaching on addiction, and I just felt the Holy Spirit come over me, man. Like, and I had been running and gunning for years and years and years, and going in and out, in and out, in and out, and I was just tired. I was exhausted, and in that moment, I felt the Lord come over me, and I looked at Amber, and I just grabbed her hand, and we went down to the front. And that's the day that Jesus broke the chains that I had been dragging around for years.
So the aha moment was actually in church.
Correct. Yes.
That's good. That's cool. So was there an aha moment that took you to church?
It wasn't really, because I grew up going to church. It wasn't like, hey, I feel I'm at the deepest, darkest place in my life. Like, I need to go to church.
I gotcha.
So I'd always kind of went.
Even through addiction and stuff?
Not necessarily through addiction, but I grew up going, when I would try to get clean, I would go. So it was like sporadic. It was off and on, but
It just stuck this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was, for some reason, that's the time that the Lord said, hey, okay, you're done.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I do like getting the rock bottom stories though, because I think everybody's is different.
Yeah,
and I try to peel this out of people because there's always somebody listening right now,
right,
that is at that same place and may not realize it's rock bottom, and they hear somebody say, they're like, crap, man, that's somebody's rock bottom, and I think it's just Monday,
right,
or just Friday,
right.
Like is there a moment where you were like, for me? Let me try this. For me, I was out at a house I was renting right there on Wendell Road at the 55 exit. Big white house, big old white house with a big white fence around it, right across from a gas station. Everybody knows the old house is from that area. Big 100-year-old home, bunch of land. I was in a good place. Well, I was in a terrible place, but it looked nice.
Right.
And but most hellscapes usually are shielded by nice things.
Right.
Then it's hell on the inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like people's it's like happy families on Instagram.
Right. Yeah. Like, what's really going on?
Yeah. Like, y'all look too happy.
Right.
I don't trust that at all.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting around. There was a room in the middle of the house with no windows, and I was in there with a bunch of just really bad people. And I mean, I hope they got their lives together now, and they're not bad people anymore. But I was a bad person too. I mean, I deserved to be where I was. And I just remember looking around thinking to myself, man, I wouldn't, and we were passing a pipe around, and it wasn't marijuana in that pipe.
Right, yeah.
And we were passing that around. I just remember this aha moment where I looked around. I don't know how many days I'd been awake, and I just said, I would not be in here with a single one of these MFers if it wasn't for drugs.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this devil we're passing around.
Right, yeah.
I would not be here right now. I would be doing something. I've set myself up too good and worked too hard to be doing this right now. And I was in that moment that I was like, I got to fix this.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. Like the next day, I was passed out on my couch in the living room. It was probably the middle of the day, 2 o'clock, something like that. Mm-hmm. My dad came over and just kind of walked his way in. The house looked like hell. Me and the dog, my pit bull at the time, had kind of destroyed one room at a time and worked our way to the living room. It was probably the last room left that was clean. And my dad, I remember slapping the taste out of my mouth. At least that's the way I remember it. He doesn't necessarily remember it that way, but I remember him slapping me and waking me up. Mm-hmm. And I do, the ultimatum I do know happened. The ultimatum was you come home right now and you clean up, mm-hmm. or you never see your family again. Mm. In so many words. Yeah. You got to pick right now. It's this or it's this. Yeah. And I had that moment of clarity the night before. And I say, let's go. And I never walked back in that house again. They went back and got all my stuff out of there. And I've not done a drug since. I mean, I've fallen off wagons and I've had other battles, but I have not messed with meth. Hard stuff, since then. That was 2010. Nice. 2010, yeah. No. That would have been 2008 or so, actually. 2007, 2008. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't quite 2010. At least somewhere in there. I've lost track. It's been so long I don't even count anymore because 2010 was 15 years ago. Yeah, something like that. So once you get past a decade, it's just like I've lost count. Right. That was a bad phase. Yeah. On to the next phase. Right. But it could have been a deadly phase.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I don't want to make it sound like, as put together as maybe I just made it sound like, because the road to that point was extremely rough. I mean, I'm talking like homeless, prison, in and out of 5150s, where they take you mentally to the asylum. Like, I mean, it was a hard road up until that point. Yeah. It just so happened to be, my emotional rock bottom was in an air conditioned church.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Luckily, so it could have, it easily could have been, me in some dirty clothes on the side of the road somewhere.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, because it happens to so many people. And I'm battling something now. I actually pastored. I text my pastor the other day, and I haven't been going to church like I need to either. And I text Terry Fant, and I was like, man, I just need to come talk to you. Yeah. And the bad weather came through the other day when I was supposed to go, so I postponed it. And he texted me late last night. He was like, hey, praying for you. Still need to come talk to me. I've got a serious problem right now where I am lacking empathy and sympathy for people in bad places. And I just look at everybody like, you got yourself there, get yourself out of there. Yeah. And that's true. It is, because you do have to get yourself out of there, and you got to want to get out of there. Yeah, there is to some extent that has to be implemented, yes. Yeah, but I don't know that I have to be as harsh as I do. Mm-hmm. And I've cut back making my videos. I've deactivated my Instagram account. Where the most toxic stuff was going on, because I was like, I got to take a step back. I'm not happy with the person I've become, and I spoke about this on Facebook a little bit the other day. I made a kind of a vague, passive aggressive post about needing to make some subtle changes, and people were wondering what is it, and well, this is what it is. I'm not happy with how I'm treating other people, and so I gotta check that. Yeah. So that's what Clay is working on right now, is checking that and try to get back to treating people like humans, and remembering that I was that human in a bad spot too. Right. Just because I had a good family and a opportunity and I had a soft landing spot, right? I don't need to judge other people that don't. Yeah, and it's real easy to do nowadays too. I mean, because I find myself, because I travel all over the place, and like everywhere I go, people are just so angry and rude, and it's just like, people are talking bad to each other and like almost hitting people in the parking lots, and it's just like everywhere you look, and it's real easy to fall into that, like, man, what is going on with these people, like, and not reach an understanding of, hey, I could be that same person today. I could fall into that right now. 100%. You know what I mean? Most of us are living week to week anyway. We're all just a couple bad weeks away from being homeless anyway. Right, yeah. I mean, a month to month anyway. Right. All right, let's take a break. Come back. We're talking with Tyler Norsworthy. We'll continue on this, and we're going to talk about his clothing company and more. This is The Clay Edwards Show, WYAB. Guys, when we come back, let's tell you what's for lunch today. Let's see what's for dinner at a couple places, too. It's the weekend. You need to get out and support these great sponsors. This is The Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. Let me get us back on the screen there. This segment brought to you by I know I said I was going to talk about our lunch partners, but we'll do that the next break because I did not get my notes ready. So this segment will be brought to you by, let's see here, how about our good friends at... I can't cheat. I got to get my notes out. What can I say? We could talk about dinner. Let's talk about Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Chip's had a big old week. Had some procedures done. Y'all get out and see Chip tonight at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris, Phantom Mart, on the res. They open at 4 p.m. They got 12 different specialty pizzas, 9 different frozen daiquiris. It is family friendly. They have live entertainment, usually somebody up there playing keyboard or guitar or something like that. It's never a covered charge. Stop by, see them this evening, get some homemade pizza. You guys know I like the pig. It is fresh smoked pork on site. It is ham, Canadian bacon. And it has also got bacon cooked on it fresh from raw, so that bacon fat cooks down in it. You know, so many pizza places put pre-cooked bacon on their pizza, and then when they run it through the oven, it just turns into super crispy bacon bits. Who wants bacon bits on a pizza? That sounds terrible. I want fresh cooked bacon with the bacon fat dripping down into the mozzarella cheese. You hungry yet? I am. All right, get out to Acme Pizza and Daiquiris tonight. All right, Tyler.
Yes.
So you've been on the road to recovery for a while, man.
Yes.
How long you been sober?
It'll be 8 years in May, I believe.
8 years in May.
Mm-hmm.
That's a strong, long time, man. And that's drug, alcohol, everything, huh?
Yeah, that's everything.
And you and Amber kind of hooked up and did that together, huh?
Oh yeah, we were definitely not. We were still running off the rails whenever me and Amber met.
I have a phrase for it. I call it toxic twins.
Yeah. So they tell you in recovery don't get in a relationship in the first year, and we did not do that, and we are a walking miracle that we are together still today, because that statement holds weight. It is not good to do it, so I don't recommend it.
It's like dating a coworker.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, it don't end well.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But God turned it into something beautiful. So
yeah, that's good stuff there, man. So 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 years, y'all got some kids and stuff and everything, man. Yep. So let's just fast forward a bit. You were able to overcome all that stuff, and that's coming up into life and gangs and prison and just everything. Mm-hmm. It's a very similar story that so many people have that don't have the same ending, though.
Yeah.
That's where it changes for you guys. You started this clothing company. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so about 6 months ago, I was driving home. I spent a lot of time in my truck and a lot of time thinking, and I just felt something come over me. I was checking my email, and I was getting emails from, Gymshark, Nike, all the people that I buy all my stuff from, and I just had this thought. I was like, what do these people represent? Like, what am I sending all this money to? And I just felt it come over me. I was like, I'm going to start, a clothing company. And at first, it wasn't like a clear, like, this is what it's going to be. This is what we're going to sell type deal. I just wanted to create a company that people, when they bought our product, they knew exactly what the money was going for. They knew the story behind the people that own it. And I feel like, most people want that. Even if you don't think about it, at the end of the day, you're representing that symbol on your shorts or on your shirt. You're representing the person that owns that company. That's who you're representing.
They're getting free advertising. That's why they got their logo on it.
Exactly.
But they've tricked us into thinking that it's an honor for us to get to wear their logo.
Right.
It's like the Dallas Cowboys or something.
Right. Yeah. They create this
like
awesome. Yeah. They create this awesome product, but they're creating all these awesome products for you to wear that's hard not to buy, and then funding the lifestyle that you don't agree with. So we wanted to go against that. We wanted to create a Christian company. At first, I was kind of wanting to just target the men, because I feel like what we first talked about, masculinity is under attack, especially a man that's just not afraid to walk in his faith or speak his mind, or all these things that are very rare in today's world. I wanted to represent that with the symbol. I wanted you to see this symbol and know that Christ is alive and well, and that you are not afraid to go against the grain.
The Dying Breed.
Yes, the Dying Breed Lifestyle Apparel Company is what we call it.
What's the website?
The website is www.tdbla.com.
TD, so just the initial.
Correct. Yeah, just the initials. Yeah.
.com. Mm-hmm. And how's that going?
It's going good. It was kind of a slow start. We're navigating all that stuff. It's hard to start a business. There's a lot of factors involved. And I would be lying to say I did really much anything with it because it was my idea and my wife figured everything else out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Amber does a great job. She's been on it. She called me about taking online payments. That's what I think I turned her on to like Shopify. I don't know what y'all are going with, but that's made my life a lot easier is processing that and being able to ship the orders and everything. It's like, okay, this is because the first 1,000 shirts I sold was me running around dropping shirts off.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, guys, I'm parked here for the next hour. Come get a shirt.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
And, I mean, people got out and supported it. And, I mean, I ran around, and like I was telling you, one of the best ways to sell my shirts was running around delivering them and getting people to take pictures with them on and being able to post the pictures of normal people, not famous people, but normal people wearing your stuff. And it was really cool. Yeah. And it reminds me, as I was telling you, that that's really what I need to get back to doing. Yeah. Is getting pictures of folks with my shirts on. And that helps sell it because other people are like, oh, well, John's got that. I want that.
Right, yeah. Sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing to do, you know.
It is. But we forget that we overcomplicate things.
Right, exactly. And I'm guilty of doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about, like, what's the best marketing strategy? What platform should I do it on? Blah, 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 blah. And when you said that to me earlier, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. You know? So
it's just the little things sometimes, man.
Yeah.
It's the little things. You know, circling back to what you said about knowing where the money's being spent. That's why I support so many small businesses. That's why this radio station and these radio shows like mine and these other ones on this platform do well, because we pretty much only work with small businesses. Yeah. Like we don't have any big mega companies on this station. I mean, they're mega. Some of them in their size locally, but they're not big global corporations, and we're not financing our own demise. Yes. Kim Wade talks about it a lot. He's like, man, I'm through supporting these people I'm through financing my own demise.
Yeah.
And like I'm funding the enemy to fund against me. And as soon as my AT&T contract runs out, I'm switching my phone to C-Spire, and I don't care how good the service is or isn't.
Oh, I love C-Spire for that.
Their home Wi-Fi home fiber is phenomenal.
Is it really?
Yeah. I could never imagine having to go back to anybody else.
Yeah.
And the customer service. I mean, here, free plug for C-Spire here, because I have a bad habit of breaking things, and then they come right out, they fix it.
Really?
I mean, I was on the phone with a service rep the other day. I said, man, he got through and everything was working. I said, I just want to tell you, man, y'all do such a good job. I said, this is the best customer service I've ever had. And I sounded full of crap.
Yeah.
But I was trying to tell him, I was like, I promise I'm not being full of crap here. I was like,
genuine.
Y'all really are the best customer service I've ever dealt with is C-Spire. And it's just phenomenal because they get stuff done. They don't ask dumb questions. They don't try to blame it on you. It's obviously my fault.
Yeah.
You know, usually.
Right, yeah.
You know, or my rescue dog likes to chew cables out of walls. Yeah. And she has chewed the cable out of the internet. She chewed the internet from the outside of the house and the inside now. And they've come right out and they didn't dog shame me or anything. They just fixed it and got it done within 24 hours and boom. You know, I just told them, like, man, I was so ecstatic to have my internet back.
Right.
I was like, you're the best ever. Let me just give you a hug.
Right. Did you see what they did during the Olympics? Did you see that?
Yeah, what was it?
They were doing that huge, like,
they pulled it all back.
They pulled the commercials completely off from the Olympics.
Yeah.
The Olympics.
Yeah.
You know how much exposure that is?
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, dude, respect.
Yeah.
But it's because they did not believe in what they were portraying on the screen, and that is real.
100%.
I love C-Spire.
I do too. And I mean, I've heard some people say, well, the cell phone service isn't as good. It's like, man, depending on where you live in Mississippi, the cell phones, AT&T, people ask me all the time, like, why don't you call me when you get in the car? Well, because 49 from Flora back to Jackson or from Jackson to Flora, there's 3 dead spots with AT&T.
Yeah.
And the calls just drop. 5 miles drop, 5 miles drop, 2 miles drop, whatever. Yeah. I can't even get on the phone. Mm-hmm. Like, C-Spire can't be any worse than that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just can't be. I have 1 bar at my house.
Yeah.
And I have to pretty much talk on and I live in downtown Brandon. I have to put my phone on Wi-Fi to have a phone conversation. When the internet was down the other day, I couldn't even use my phone as a hotspot because the signal was so bad.
Yeah, AT&T sucks.
Yeah, I mean it really does. You know, sorry if we have any AT&T affiliated sponsors. I don't think we do. But it's also why I only support locally owned businesses.
Yeah.
Like the grocery stores, stuff like that. I'm not supporting Kroger.
Yeah.
Kroger had a Pride Month display. I'm out, dog.
Yeah.
I will pay more.
Yeah.
At Ramey's, at Allen's, at Fairway, down in Pillahhatchee, whatever. And I'm not saying they charge more, but I'm just saying I'm willing to pay more
Right.
to go shop local.
And they feel like they can get away with it because they're a super
They're
chain.
so big.
You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, well, we're just going to do whatever we want because even if we lose you as a customer, it's not that big of a deal. And that's the mindset that I don't agree with.
No.
You know?
Well, Bud Light found out.
Oh, yeah, they found out.
You know, and look, I'm a huge supporter of Southern Beverage, the local distributor here. It has nothing to do with them, and I'll stand up and fight anybody for them. They've been good to me for 30-plus years. But the Bud Light Corp, you know, Anheuser Corporation, InBev, they found out, and that changed things. You've seen all these companies walk this DEI crap back the second they had a chance. The second Trump and them got in office, some of the biggest corporations that we thought were super duper woke. Yeah. Oh, come to find out, they were more gay for pay.
Right. Exactly.
They weren't really woke.
Yeah.
They were about their pocketbook, and they were going to catch hell if they didn't enact these policies. Yeah. And with different bank rates and stuff like that. So, you know, that we needed a hard reset. They wanted to do a great reset. We got a hard reset, and it's back to normal. I don't want to say back right. But back right in the sense of right and wrong. So hopefully this country's going back in the right direction. Let's take our last break of this hour with Tyler. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about 3 minutes left here, 4 minutes with Tyler. Going to land the plane for hour one. Y'all don't go nowhere. I'll still be here for hour two. We've got a guest the last half of that hour, Paul McCoy, lead singer of 12 Stones, will be in concert tonight at McBee's Bar and Grill. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Guys that can handle all of your home, car, and business window tinting needs, all of your windshield and automotive glass replacement needs, and all of your vehicle detailing and ceramic coating needs. And they can also wrap your vehicle and turn it into a rolling billboard. Check them out online today for a free quote at LakelandGlassandTint.com. LakelandGlassandTint.com. And they got a new location right there on the corner of 471 and Highway 80 in downtown Brandon in the 042. That's right. All right. Tyler, again, let's circle back. The T-shirt company, how can people find it?
So we're on Facebook, the Dying Breed Lifestyle Apparel Company. We're on TikTok, the Dying Breed Lifestyle. And then our website is www.tdbla.com, which is just the abbreviation of the Dying Breed Lifestyle Apparel.
The Dying Breed Lifestyle Apparel. So figure out the abbreviation, find that. What you got going on the rest of the day?
I got to go to Olive Branch for work and then swing back through Tupelo and then come back and coach my daughter's softball team, which my wife signed up for, and now I'm coaching it.
How old is she?
She's 6.
6. Oh, yeah. That's a very impressionable age there. Enjoy those moments.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not really. I was kind of mad about it at first, but then I started doing it, and I was like, all right, this is kind of fun.
Yeah. So, well, you know, it helps that competitive spirit.
Yeah.
You'll get rolling. Like,
what are we doing?
What exactly? Exactly. So, all right, man, we've had Tyler Norsworthy on this morning. Here in the next hour, I'm going to rant and rave for about 30 minutes about something. I'm sure there's something out there to rant and rave about. And then about 8:30, we'll have Paul McCoy on from 12 Stones. Guys, don't go anywhere. The Guns and Gear text line, you want to chime in this morning, 769-241-1944. Mazda Jackson phone line. I'll open up the phone lines in hour two, coming back from the break, 601-879-0002. Let's see here, man. If you're looking for lunch today, it is a fried chicken Friday at Martin's, both locations, Livingston and downtown Jackson. Fried chicken Friday. Then you're looking for fried fish, McBee's, it's their fried catfish, but they've also got their hamburger steak, chicken breast, and country fried steak. I broke off the diet yesterday at McBee's, and I had the country fried steak. I can't recommend it enough. Try that. And, of course, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, all three locations. It's a catfish Friday. But they also have hamburger steak and red beans and rice with sausage at their Madison, Flowood, and downtown Brandon location. Of course, everybody's full menu is available, and they all have live entertainment tonight. Check them out. We'll be right back on WYAB. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour two of the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. I want to thank Tyler Norsworthy for coming in and hanging out in the first hour there. Always good talking to those folks, getting a good positive testimonial. Sometimes you need that in your life. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes I need that. I need to hear something positive because I do spend a lot of time being a little negative, I'll be the first to admit it. Hey, this segment brought to you by our friends over at Pure Air Consultants. As it starts to warm up outside, it seems like a good time to reach out to Pure Air Consultants. For over 40 years, Pure Air Consultants has been delivering exceptional cooling systems to Central Mississippi. They want to remind you that consistent expert maintenance on your system improves your indoor air quality significantly. It will also help your system operations improve their efficiency by 20 to 40%, have an increased useful life, and have fewer failures. Be sure to check out their residential HVAC maintenance plan that Pure Air Consultants proudly offers. If you have any questions or you would like to sign up, then contact them today at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com. Ream a new degree of comfort. All right, man, just kind of checking the text messages here. I ran across something last night that I thought was interesting that we could play off of in this segment. We talked about masculinity being under attack in that last segment, and it's clearly under attack by the Democrats. Well, Charlie Kirk was on, I believe it's Gavin Newsom's podcast. I don't think Newsom's on Charlie Kirk's podcast. And this is about 5 minutes long. Y'all have to bear with it, but I think it's really interesting. Kirk explains that the left is scared of masculinity, and that's why they can't own the podcast space. I mean, the most masculine Democrat they could find was Gavin Newsom to try to turn into the, air quotes here in the studio, the next Joe Rogan. Y'all already had a Joe Rogan on the left. His name was Joe Rogan. You ran him off with your crazy crap. You already had a Tim Pool. His name was Tim Pool. It's ridiculous. Let's play this.
We're losing. We have this, I feel it's asymmetry of Donald Trump and Elon Musk sending out tweets, or you doing social media, and then me doing a 3-minute hit at 3:00 in the afternoon on CNN. I mean, how the hell do we compete? We're toast.
Well, I mean, part of it, and credit to you for doing long-form podcasting, because long-form podcasting does penetrate different audiences, right? And our show does very well. But part of the problem of the Democrat Party that for the health of the country would be great to change is that Democrats cannot survive in long-form podcasting environments.
Why?
It's too unscripted. It's too masculine, honestly. And the Democrat Party's become too feminine.
What is masculine about a podcast? Honestly, because I get the whole manosphere, this bro podcast.
To go into the wilderness with no rules and duel it out and see who's better or who's stronger. No, seriously.
Nailed it. Just like me and Tyler just sat down there. We went into the wilderness, no script, and we nailed it. And we talked about things for over an hour, unscripted. Democrats can't do that. They got their little talking points. They got their little catchphrases, their little nursery rhymes, their little signs. Anyway, I digress.
I mean, like, what?
Democrats can't.
What? No, I mean, like,
we don't do it. You're right. We, for whatever reason, don't do it.
You can laugh, but like, who in the Democrat Party?
We're not. You're right.
Will go. I mean, maybe Bernie Sanders, but he only
RFK
for like an hour and a half.
When he was a Democrat.
Well, Bobby, who's now HHS. Yeah. But like, there's something to be said that if you want to earn the respect of forgotten America, you have to show them that you can intellectually joust with no script, no hard breaks, no producers in the ears, no teleprompters. That's where new media is going. Now, I'll only challenge one thing you say. I am reaching new audiences. I'm not talking to my bubble, because our content is so appealing. It goes in a decentralized way.
And it's not just political.
No, it's not political.
Cultural.
But like, again, our conversation here is going to go far and wide, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to see it. A lot of people are going to consume it, because it's also politics and entertainment have begun to overlap, right? And the old adage is, well, politics is downstream from culture. I think politics and culture are indecipherable from one another now. Donald Trump became a cultural...
I 100% agree with that. They are indecipherable now. And also what they don't talk about is we've replaced our religion with our political party.
Phenomenon, right? You go into, inner city Compton, you'll see guys with Trump shirts with, the hand up, fight, fight, fight. Yep. So what Democrats are doing is you're still playing in a very old, hyper-sanitized media environment. Right. And my advice is you got to go where it's unpredictable, where it's treacherous, where it's dangerous. Now, I would make a more provocative argument that you would.
It's why Democrat talk radio doesn't exist. Like I know they have MPB and NPR and some of these things, but there's no Democrat Rush Limbaugh out there in in the talk radio sphere.
Wouldn't necessarily resonate with, which is that you guys have not built the intellectual muscle over 30 years because you all agree with each other all the time.
Well, not like conservatives are massively disagreeing.
Well, hold on.
Trump has completely collapsed the conservative movement.
I would push back a little bit. I would disagree. We have a robust discussion.
Well, it seems like Congress is really doing great oversight of Trump right now. They're holding him to account.
That's an important but separate issue. I just want to finish the point, then we could talk about Congress, which is that in the Republican Party, we have immense and vocal and public spats all the time. I think you would agree. We fight about foreign policy. Look at Ukraine, right? We're talking about primary challenging some of these senators that were meeting Zelensky last week. The Democrat Party would never do that. Now, I think that is a symptom of an underlying thing. We're constantly trying to find the approximation of what truth is. We're trying to use dialogue towards, hey, who's right? What do you believe? Why do you believe it? And it's by no coincidence that out of the long-form podcasting genres, the top 10, 8 of them are conservative or center-right. Rogan, Megyn Kelly, Theo Vaughn, the Paul brothers,
Shapiro.
our program, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. There's a singular one on the left, which is Pod Save America, which is just like a bunch of Obama bros agreeing with each other for 90 minutes and saying that we're not very smart. And, and so anyway, but I
appreciate it. No, but objective truth, right? I mean, you just dominate this media. I mean, it's medium. But but it's interesting. You're making a deeper argument that we're not, and you didn't say it in a maligning way, but that we're just not capable because we're not hardwired.
Well, I think it's
to be able to participate in.
Well, I think that it's two.
Conservatives, I'm going to quote Metallica here, are hardwired to self-destruct, and we will go after one another quick and in a hurry. And I don't know if that's good or not. I guess we're winning right now, so it's been good. But the Democrats have used this blue no matter who, go blue team, go. And they do not differentiate from one another. I mean, they're very interchangeable. They get the talking points and they run with it. It's quite entertaining. And one thing I do know about Democrats is they can pretend that they don't do those things. I guess I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here, and I will continue to let this play, but there's only 1 minute left. When Joe Biden got full control, and I saw the coalition of different weird self-oppressed groups that came together that I know really hate each other, like the blacks and gays, when they all came together to defeat Donald Trump, I was like, that ain't going to last long. Because there ain't a more homophobic group in America than the Southern black male. I mean, for better or worse, say whatever. It's just true. Y'all can call me a liar, whatever. I grew up in Jackson. I know black dudes. They ain't about this gay stuff. And when they called a truce to beat Donald Trump, allegedly, of course, I knew that wasn't going to last. They were going to want theirs. And that's why the Democrat Party fell apart. And eventually, those black dudes said, man, I ain't about this stuff no more. They ain't really about me. They about all this gay stuff. And that's why you had record amounts of black males vote for Donald Trump. Now, how many in the South? I don't know. They're different down here. But in other parts of the country, where everything's not an excuse, different story.
Two things. Number one, your upbringing in college campuses does not foster debate like it used to. It just doesn't. It's that it's about silencing the critic and the elevation of the victim. So you do not have the practice of robust having to defend your position. It's very monolithic. It's very centralized. It's very top down. It's quasi-authoritarian. And then secondly, I would just say that the philosophy on the worldview, as I mentioned earlier, that you guys have adopted is that thou which is oppressed will get the most points. You guys don't have thou that has the best idea wins. And because of that, you guys have an elevation of like, hey, we're just going to have a small subset of a minoritarian hectoring hall monitor assistant principal vibe of people telling you that you're not allowed to say these words and you can't say that. And we call that political correctness, which in and of itself is hyper-authoritarian. So if you seek to understand why young men are rebelling, it's like, no, I'm not going to go along with this anymore.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Charlie Kirk on fire right there. You can listen to Charlie Kirk for now every day right here on WYAB from 2 to 4 p.m. Is it 2 to 4? No. Yeah. 12, whatever time it is. I forget. No, he's on from noon to 2. Noon to 2. And then it's Dana from 2 to 4. Have I got that right? No. Anyway, Charlie Kirk comes on after Dana. But he's here daily. You can find the time. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends out at Martin's. I know we talked about them a little earlier, just talked about their lunch. But going on at Martin's coming up downtown on March 14th. That is next Friday. It is Pandora's Box. I got the name wrong yesterday. I think I called them Toys in the Attic. Pandora's Box, the ultimate Aerosmith tribute, next Friday night, March 14th, at Martin's downtown. Coming up, let's see here, on the 22nd, of course, at the downtown location, it is the St. Patty's Parade and After Show featuring the Mustache Band, Pothole Paradise, and our good friend of the show, Mr. Chad Wesley and the Chad Wesley Band. Should be a good old time. I guess it's the Mustache Band playing. They got a mustache on the logo. That usually means the Mustache Band. But according to the flyer here, it does not appear that way. Well, the flyer says one thing, but the tags say another. Anyway, it don't matter. It's the Martin's after party. The entertainment is quasi-secondary, except Chad Wesley, of course. Anyway, y'all get over there, check them out. And don't forget, next Sunday, or Saturday, the 16th, Sunday, get over to Martin's at Livingston. It's their St. Patrick's Day parade, a little crawfish bowl. Going to have a good time out there at the Livingston location. So check that out. All right, man. A little free-for-all here for a segment before we get to our, yawning. I've been asleep. I've been awake since 3 o'clock this morning. I went to sleep about 10 last night. I was on Tyler's. I went to bed early last night. You know, what time was it? About 10. So I normally go to bed at 11:30. He was like, that's not early. And so anyway, I went to bed a little early last night. So I woke up earlier than normal. I couldn't really get back to sleep about 3:30. And I had good reason. I was tired. And then I just woke up and tossed and turned and tossed and turned. So I just saw something. Circling back, Jen Psaki style, to President Trump's joint address to Congress, or whatever it was called the other day. There was a kid. Oh, man, I apologize for yawning on the radio. Terribly unprofessional of me. They gave the kid, the young little black kid, DJ Daniels, 13-year-old cancer survivor, the honorary Secret Service thing, title, badge. And I know we talked about this on the show the other day, but I may be more pissed off about it today than I was Tuesday or Monday, whenever it was, that became on and we did a show about it. Wednesday. I'm sorry. We didn't do a show Monday and Tuesday. And now these left-wing troll accounts, this one's called Right Wing Cope, says, "Hey, Doge, we have a DEI hire to report." And it shows a picture of the kid. And it got it got community noted, which is great. It got fact-checked, basically. And it says, DJ Daniels is a 13-year-old child with cancer. He was given an honorary title. He was not hired. The left is sick. They are a disease that needs to be surgically removed from this country by any means necessary. They bring nothing good to the table anymore. They used to keep the right centered, and it was kind of this left-right tug-of-war. It is that no more. These people are evil, and they want to destroy America. I'm going to have to go home and take a nap for that concert tonight. They want to destroy America. I hope nobody I hope nobody needs my help saving America before about 2 o'clock today. Because I have apparently stumbled into a wall of need to sleep. I tell you what it is I wake up and I get in the car and I drive for 40 minutes to an hour. Then I sit in this chair for 2 hours. And then I go sit in room editing the show down to a podcast for another hour. And then I drive back for 40 minutes to an hour. And my body's just in a state of not moving. I need to get one of those Varidesk here in the studio, or I could just stand up and move the microphone up and talk, but then I couldn't see the computer screen. But I definitely need to start doing some running sprints or something between segments here and keep my blood flowing, because days like today, it's like, ooh. Anyway, but I'm fired up. I'm here to save America. We have forfeited Jackson. We will, when Jackson wants to save itself, we'll circle back to saving Jackson. We will not be talking very much Jackson at all on this show moving forward. I just don't see the point in it. Jackson is a great analogy of the Democrat Party's terrible policies come to life. It is a bunch of emasculated white men running for mayor. It's a bunch of emasculated black men, minus Kim Wade, running for mayor. And I just fear, speaking for truth to words here, I fear Kim's chances of winning, because the whites that will vote for him, for the most part, I know there's a few, they're scared to vote for him because he's a Trump supporter, and they're scared of being called racist. And the blacks aren't going to vote for him because, well, he's a Trump supporter and he's a Republican. But maybe there's enough people that are fed up. I sure hope so. Because I don't see a single one of the other candidates being any different than Chokwe at the end of the day. I don't see a single one that's got any backbone. Well, there is David Archie. David Archie's got backbone. But I was looking at that mayoral forum they did, and I was like, I'm done. There's enough stuff going on nationally. I ain't saying we won't talk about local stuff. And we will definitely take our victory lap when Chokwe and Jody go to jail and we get that guilty plea. But until then, I'm done with them, man. But they're so ungrateful. All I've done for Jackson. And y'all want to boo Clay Edwards. I feel like Suge Knight at the Source Awards. Not Suge Knight. Snoop Dogg at the Source Awards. Y'all want to boo Snoop? The East Coast ain't got no love for Snoop. That's how I feel about Jackson. Ain't got no love for Clay Edwards. Well, I ain't got no love for y'all. Let's take a break. When we come back, we should have Paul McCoy, 12 Stones, on the phone. Talk about the big show tonight out there at McBee's. We'll be right back on WYAB. If my schedule will come up here so I can hit the resume button. There we go. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Let me get this over here. All right. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Your Pie, located right out there in Gluckstadt, Mississippi, right across from Germantown High School. I mean, you already know Your Pie has all your favorite pizzas, and they're open for lunch today, too. But did you know that Your Pie also has gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, and keto-friendly menu items? That means if you got a food allergy or a dietary preference, Your Pie is the place to go. Look, y'all are going to think I'm lying, and I accept that. I accept that because I would have slapped somebody. I mean, just looking right in the eye and slapped them for insulting my intelligence 2 or 3 years ago if they had told me, Clay, cauliflower crust pizza is better than regular crust pizza. Do you think I'm stupid? That's a rhetorical question. Nobody answer that. Do not answer that in your cars right now. Do not answer that. And I would have said, you're lying. There's no way. Cauliflower crust. But I don't even like cauliflower. Why would it make a good crust? Guys, if I'm lying, I'm dying. In my opinion, cauliflower crust is better than regular bread crust pizza. Now, it's got to be done right. I'm sure that there's some people who can screw that up and absolutely make that not the case. Your Pie actually prepares their gluten-free, allergy-free stuff in a safe, uncontaminated area. So if you legitimately have food allergies, you're not going to get sick at all. So check them out. Your Pie, located right there on, I forget the name of that road, but it's right there across the street from Germantown High School. Let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line. We got Paul McCoy, 12 Stones on the line. Paul, is that you?
Yeah, what's up?
You're on the air, brother. Just kind of jump straight in there with you. Look, y'all get out to Your Pie. Enjoy that pizza today at Your Pie. And don't forget the rewards. We got Paul McCoy, 12 Stones on the line here. One of my old friends going back to 2001. 12 Stones is supposed to get ready to celebrate their 25th anniversary next year. That's going to be exciting. But in the meantime, Paul has put the band back together. They're going to go out and play some big festivals this summer. And getting ready for those festivals, they're going to do a few acoustic shows, get warmed up, do an interesting, unique set, 90 minutes they're going to play tonight. Paul, you and John of 12 Stones are going to be up here playing tonight. What's going on, brother? What can people expect?
You know, we're just super excited to be back out playing music, doing what we love to do. And for the acoustic show, it's a totally different vibe than any of our old 12 Stones stuff. Normally 12 Stones, full band, we're cranked up to 11 and exerting as much energy as possible. Tonight it'll be a little bit different. Play a lot of our favorite 12 Stone songs, but we're also going to have a little bit more of like a storyteller's vibe where we kind of talk about the songs. We open it up and it's a much more intimate performance where John and I will sit there and go through some songs and give you a full 90-minute headline set with the music and just kind of be there in the moment with everybody.
You know, as we've all gotten a little older, we're all in our 40s now for the most part, from that era. And, look, I love a good acoustic set. I love the storytellers. I like hearing the stories behind the songs. And there's a lot of genres where the people who perform those songs, you know, they didn't write them, so they don't really get to do it real storytellers about it. These are songs that you wrote going back to, 17, 18 years old and beyond, obviously. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to hear where you were at those points in your life. You know, me being a huge fan of that first album, it's going to be real cool to hear the stories behind some of those songs like Broken and The Way I Feel and Crash and some other stuff.
Yeah, John did a great job of taking some of the songs that would not have normally translated well to acoustic, and songs like Broken, which are traditionally much more upbeat and a little bit heavier. He's taken that and made just such a cool version of that song musically. So that's one of my favorite things. We're going to end the show with that. But, yeah, everything that we go through in these shows is really just to kind of, you know, open up and be a little bit more transparent about where we were in life and where things are at. And we're just super excited to be back and be back home. You know, I was born in Flowood and raised in Florence, and my grandma lived on McDowell Road, so I spent a lot of my time over there playing off of McDowell Road. So definitely got the roots, and it's exciting to be back. Yeah,
we were talking about that. We did a long-form podcast the other night that you can find on all my socials, and Paul brought up his grandmother living on McDowell Road and him hanging out at Tennis South. And I was like, man, that's why we get along so well, because you know, I didn't know you had that South Jackson pumping through your veins. So,
yeah, it runs deep.
That's good stuff there, man. So, hey, look, Paul, some stuff people might not know. You won a Grammy. You know, we in Mississippi do it. We're kind of like New Orleans we do a really bad job of celebrating our rock legacy here in Mississippi. Everybody wants to run to the blues stuff, and that's great. I'm not hating on it at all. But like, we've got so many people here who have done such huge things in the rock music scene. And, you know, you're from right here in central Mississippi, and I don't think you get celebrated enough for the things that you've accomplished. And like I said, you won a Grammy from being on one of the biggest rock songs of all time. You know, I mean, I think that's really, really cool. How did that go? What was that like, that experience of winning a Grammy?
You know, it was it's still hard to comprehend a lot of times. I was able to be on the Bring Me to Life song of Evanescence, and it was their first song off their first album, so nobody knew what to expect, and I got asked to be a part of it, and the second I agreed to do it, it just exploded. We got to go on the Jay Leno show, we played Access Hollywood, and then I got flown out to Los Angeles to attend the Grammys And I was fortunate enough to win Best Hard Rock Performance in 2003 because of that song, and that just opened so many doors for not only myself but the band and the scene here in Louisiana, the local scene. There's a lot of bands that started kind of coming up and doing their thing around that time. So it was really awesome. I got to go sit in the crowd at the Grammys, and the one that I won was not a televised one. They don't really celebrate too much of the rock in the Grammys anymore. I got to see it announced, and it was really cool.
No, that's cool. Either way, I mean, the fact you got to fly out there and be there in person and win it, TV or no TV, it's still really cool. You won a Grammy. We got a bunch of Grammy winners from Mississippi who didn't get to do it on TV. They don't do the blues ones and all that stuff either, and the gospel and stuff. So it is what it is. But it's a Grammy nonetheless, and nobody can ever take that from me. I think that's really, really cool. Do you still have the award?
Oh, yeah, it's in my little home studio here. So every time I do a live stream, every time I rehearse or do anything like that, it sits right there. It's just a good reminder of hard work and perseverance and pushing through things. So it keeps me motivated to be like, things are possible, because I had no idea that part of that song was going to make the impact that it did over all these years. And here we are, 20 years later, more than 20 years. And in this September, I'm going to be joining them on stage again at one of the biggest festivals in the country. So,
yeah, that's louder than life. Moment. Louder than life. That's in Louisville or in Kentucky somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. That's become a huge, huge festival in America now. And then I saw the other day where y'all announced you're playing Aftershock out in California. I mean, that Aftershock and Welcome to Rockville are the two biggest rock festivals in America. One in California, one in Florida. And I mean, to be on that is friggin' cool.
Yeah, it's been so many years since we've played, and it's such a cool thing to still feel like there's some relevance. There's definitely been a resurgence in the bands from our era, the early 2000s and stuff. So it's nice that life timed out to where we could make these things happen and get back after it after all these years. And tonight, like I said, tonight's a nice, broken, intimate, broken down version. I think you said live, raw, unplugged.
Yeah, live, raw, unplugged, man.
That's what we're planning on delivering today, and then we get the full band back together in a few weeks. Those shows I'm planning on not being able to walk off the stage on my own. I'm planning on leaving it all out there. So,
well, look, we are looking forward to tonight. I'll see you guys this afternoon. Again, if y'all guys want to come out, meet Paul, meet John, meet any of the other bands that are playing. Storage 24, Burnham Road. We're doing a free sound check party for anybody that's bought a ticket, and you can buy a ticket at the sound check party. So come see me if you want in and want to come to the show tonight, want to come to the sound check party, meet everybody. There'll be merch available. It's going to be a good time. We're at McBee's. Doors open at 7 for the concert. All ages welcome, by the way. Let me throw that out there. If you got a kid, if you got any children that you want to come see a rock show, we are doing all ages. I got permission from the venue for that because it's just a restaurant at the end of the day. So the kids are welcome. Bring them out. Let them see a rock show. And they may change their life forever. I know it changed mine at 10 years old going to see Poison on the Open Up and Say I tour in Jackson, Mississippi, and I have been burnt ever since, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So tonight,
one of our favorite things to do is to bring the kids up. Like whenever we do full band, we like to bring the kids on stage and let them kind of control the crowd. And I've met so many people through the years that are like, man, you go on stage today, you're 12 years old, and like it was just the coolest thing ever. So if you got kids, and we have nothing but positive lyrics, no cursing, there's nothing to worry. The kids should have a good time this evening as well as everyone else. So definitely, if you're on the fence, bring them on out, and we'd love to meet everybody.
All right, Paul, thank you, brother. We'll see you tonight. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, appreciate you jumping up and doing this for us this morning. Y'all be good. Paul McCoy, 12 Stones, live tonight. Doors swing open at 7. McBee's, special guest, Burnham Road, and Storage 24. Let's take my last break of the day. Come back. We'll have a little bit more runway to land the plane this morning than normal. This is the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB, streaming worldwide on my on my Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble at SaveJXN. You may see, if you're watching on the stunning 4K video, we have welcomed another strapping young lad into the seat over there this morning. That is Andrew Gasser. He'll be filling in for Jameson Haygood from 10 to noon today. So we got an hour break this morning. Well, you got the music show, the Blue Cross Blue Shield Music Hour with Chris Davis coming up next. But after that, don't change the dial either way. But after that, make sure you stay listened in for Andrew over on the Jameson Haygood Show. This segment brought to you by our friends at Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 South. Guys, check them out online, popsautosales.llc.com. Locally owned, locally operated Pops Auto Sales. Man, they got a ton of great vehicles there available for your viewing pleasure, all pre-owned, of course, and been in business for a long time. That's Pops Auto Sales. You get pre-approved online now at popsautosales.llc.com. Check out their full inventory, and don't hesitate to get out there. See them. Go shake a hand. Go meet Pops. I don't know if there's a Pops necessarily, but go in there, ask for Pops, and get you a great deal at Pops Auto Sales. They got late model cars, trucks, SUVs, and more. All right, Andrew Gasser. What's going on, brother?
Man, I've just been farming the sheep, wrote a couple sermons, which was cool. Got to preach one of those. I'll be, this Saturday, we'll be at We Will Go down in Jackson, serving the homeless and the hungry.
Pull that mic a little closer.
Yep.
There you go.
We'll be serving the homeless and the hungry, which is always cool. Bernadette and I love doing that, so that's really cool. And then getting ready to go to London, England, man. We're going to go see the world-famous Arsenal play next week in the Champions League. Go get some European cuisine, witness all the craziness out there, and be thankful to God that I live in Mississippi and not some crazy European nation, because they are nuts over there.
I was gonna say try to avoid the illegals over there too.
It is bad over there, and they have a lot of the same problems we have, but they don't have one thing that we do, and that's President Donald J. Trump. And your whole segment where you played the Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk segment, we're going to definitely lean into that. We're also going to talk about everybody's favorite Supreme Court Justice, Quijani Brown. No. Amy Barry Coleman. And we're going to talk about that. And, you were talking about how conservatives are very fatalistic. You can have a conservative do a million things right, and the first time they do something wrong, fire them, resign, get them out of here. They asked Pam Bondi to resign, Kash Patel to resign because of the Epstein files. They're mad at Amy Coney Barrett now because of this latest judicial problem.
We don't give each other any grace,
but we're supposed to.
We're supposed to. We don't. Yeah. We don't give our own any grace. I'm guilty of it. I mean, I've got on the other day and said, I want to like Pam Bondi, but something happened with that Epstein stuff.
Oh, I think it's still coming. I just think that honestly, and I'm speaking from a position to where I was elected and I came in as everybody hated me in that organization, and I had to fire people on the first day. It's almost like a microcosm of what Trump's going through today, but I did it in 2017. And it takes time. I said I was going to release all the budgets and all the spending bills and everything. It took me 9 months. I said I was going to do it on day one. I eventually did it, but it takes time. And that was just a little podunk township. Not that township's podunk, but, it's just a small organization. And,
Elon was on Rogan the other day, and he brought it. They ended up having the conversation about this, and Elon made a great analogy. He said, imagine you've been at war with another ship for a while, and then you take over that ship, and you go on and you're the captain of that ship now when you were the enemy, but you still have the same crew that you've been fighting against for however long. And they're not immediately going to do everything you say. There's going to be resistance. And that analogy really, I needed to hear that at the time.
Yep.
I said, you know what? That's right. They are swimming upstream against an evil enemy group that's taken over our intelligence agencies.
I have to be very careful with that because, with my military experience and the things that I signed, but you are exactly right. There are people inside our military and intelligence services who hate America, who do not have her best interests in mind. And, with this whole thing, Democrats being ashamed of America, Clay, in my life, I've never been ashamed once of the United States of America. Never once. I've been ashamed of a lot of people who call themselves Americans, but never once have I wavered from my love and support of our country, because the ideals are absolutely perfect. It's the people who are executing the plan that need to be taken to the woodshed and have their mother go after them with a switch.
100%. And I will say I have been ashamed of America the last 4 years, some of the things that we've done to our great citizens. But I've got my love for it back when I saw that it auto-corrected itself.
Mm-hmm. And
it's like a living organism that gets cut and heals itself.
Yep. And
America is.
And Brother Clay, I want to encourage you not to give up on Jackson, because I heard you driving in saying how you've been beaten down. And dude, it is. But if you think about it, it's a lot harder to change a sitting U.S. senator in Mississippi than it is a mayor. It's a lot harder to change a sitting congressman, than it is an alderman. And the biggest one, well, I always say it's the biggest problem conservatives have, but one of the biggest issues that conservatives have is that they don't get involved locally, or they don't stay plugged in locally. And dude, you were plugged in to the Jackson pipe, like you got the mainline IV, and you're working it.
Yeah.
And I know you need a break, and Lord take it, but I'm here to tell you, brother, what you are doing scares. Well, I better censor myself. You scares the heck out of a lot of people, and it's awesome. You've got 10,000 people listening to you right now saying "Forward March."
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating at times, and I'll have a good rest this weekend, and I'll be back at it Monday. It's just me. It's just me pumping off, a little bit of pumping off a few rounds.
There you go. There you go.
It does get aggravating. It does get frustrating, because it's just like, man, why don't y'all want the same things? I just want, if y'all hate me so much, fix Jackson and I'll go away.
They've been conditioned to hate you because you're the white guy who gets on the radio. But as more people listen and more people start to open their eyes, and we're going to have an awesome bit in the first hour at 10 o'clock on Jameson Haygood show, so I hope you listen to it. It will really open everybody's eyes. And Trump's speech was not for the political right or the political left, the Democrats or the Republicans. It was for the sensible middle. And there are a lot of people in Jackson who are sensible in the middle. They just never had the middle shown to them, except through WYAB, Jameson Haygood, Clay Edwards, Kim Wade. And they want to go down that road, but it's scary stepping out. I mean, you're sure to get your head lopped off when you try if you're not too careful.
Y'all listen to Andrew today, 10 to noon, right here on WYAB. He's filling in for Jameson Haygood. Come out and see me tonight, starting at 7 o'clock, McBee's Bar and Grill, 12 Stones Live, Unplugged, Raw, with special guests Storage 24 and Burnham Road. If you buy a ticket, you can come out to the Soundcheck party at 5.